Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from the Daily Mail. The communists have lost control. That's a damn good headline to see. First Cuban demonstrators killed after police opened fire on peaceful protests, while anti-government reporters arrested live on TV as unrest continues. Now, this is a fairly long article. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I will say this up front. I'm a little surprised of all the hot spots in the world that would come up. I mean, I'm sure it's fueled a little bit by COVID and the tough economic times, but Trump's sanctions on Cuba are working. Yes, they are hurting the average person there, but the average person there is really in control. The communists just don't know it, and they're taking to the streets now. This is the first time, I believe, since '94 there's been any major demonstrations in Cuba. So it's a hot spot that I never thought would be at the front of the hot spots, so to speak. I'm not going through everything. This is a really long article, but there's a ton of pictures I think you might like. And also a response, which I'm a little more than disappointed. I think it's cowardly from the Biden administration. But let's read on. First Cuban protester has died after police allegedly opened fire on a peaceful demonstration, while an anti-government reporter was arrested live on TV as the unrest continues on the communist-run island. Good luck with this name. I'm just going to go on. Tejeda, 36, died on Monday in the suburb of Havana during a clash between protesters and police. The Interior Ministry said. The ministry said Tejeda was part of a group of protesters who had attacked a government facility in the La Guinera neighborhood of Havana, and did not say what caused his death. Now, it's something. They don't know what to do. It's been 27 years since any major protests. Everybody that's on the government and police forces in Cuba, the goon squad, they weren't even born yet. They have no experience on what to do. So there's going to be some crap hitting the fan. But witnesses says security forces have responded with gunfire after some demonstrators have thrown rocks at them. I think the communists have lost control. They don't have a solution to the situation, said a resident of Waldo Herrera, 49. The people are tired. So much humiliation, so much repression. Meanwhile, social media activist Adina Stars was arrested live on television by Cuban security forces while speaking with Spanish TV host Marta Flinch on Tuesday about the protest. Thousands of Cubans took to the streets of Cuba on Sunday while chanting "down with dictatorship" in the biggest anti-government demonstrations on the communist-run islands in decades. Cubans are protesting over high prices and food shortages and other grievances against the government, such as their handling of the pandemic. Yeah, that's what happens. I don't think these geniuses in the U.S., especially the younger people, know that socialism controls the means of production. That means in English is they control what gets made, how much it gets made for, how much you have of it, what products are available, what services are available. They control everything. And of course, it doesn't work, even under the best of circumstances, let alone through a pandemic. The protests continued on Monday in the southern Havana suburb of La Guinera, where Tejeda died and several others, including members of the security forces, were hospitalized with injuries, according to state-run media. Now, I'm just going to go through here. It's a really long article. If you want to stop, I'll just pause on some of these pictures. Man getting arrested outside the government. More getting arrested. This picture is particularly telling. Those gentlemen on the right with clubs and bats are the protesters, and look at the police there, eyeballing them. Boys look serious. They really do. And this is the young lady on the right that was arrested by security forces live. The lady on the left is from Spain, the television show, and she was taken in by security forces live on the internet. They shut down the internet, but somebody said they put it back on. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, has mentioned that he thinks somehow Florida can maybe finagle some things to help get the internet back up for Cubans. And it's been back up, but without the internet, the protesters and the movement for freedom down there are pretty much handcuffed. It's funny how things changed over the years. I'm 64. I never would have thought, how do pictures get out? How do reports come out? Well, the internet. Times have changed. And I'll scroll through here and you can stop. No, there's a picture of her being arrested by security forces. Somebody's filming as they're doing it. Of course, some Cuban security forces don't know. And I'll go through some more pictures here. It's a really long article, so I'll just go to each part of the page and you can read it if you want to. Mayor of Miami has suggested maybe airstrikes. Well, that's a little drastic, but I think it should be on the list. It should be on the table. And we'll go through here. Like I said, it's a long, long story. There's some more photos. That's a police car flipped over in Havana. More protests. Plainclothes officers being detained. More officers. Like I said, you can stop the video and read. It's a really long article. I'll just go through this here. It's on the dailymail.co.uk. And like I said, this is really amazing stuff. Now, there's the president of Cuba there with his supposedly his supporters. There's some more demonstrators outside the capital in Cuba. And it's these guys got some serious balls. They were saying, whoa, you know, John, all those protesters last year and protesting police murdering people and this and that and the injustice in America and the racism, those are the real heroes. Bullshit. You know what? They know they're going to get cut loose. Or government people would set up bail funds for them, i.e. our current vice president. These people that aren't going to get out, there's no bail, there's no Bill of Rights, there's no Constitution, even though sometimes I wonder if we still have one. People that were a part of the January 6th riot are still being held for basically trespassing. But I digress. These are heroes. These people don't know if they're going to come back. Ever. Like I said, I'll go scroll through the article if you want to read it. It's really something. And there's security forces there. Protesters. There's tear gas that they sprayed on them. You know, that heat and humidity, that tear gas has got to be brutal. It's brutal under normal circumstances, but the young lady with the Cuban flag, or they say Cuba. It's interesting. And Cuba's just been sitting there all these years, and bang, somebody lit the fuse. I'm encouraged, actually. I don't like to see people die, but I don't want anybody to die. But, you know, and now we have some demonstrations in the United States. There's one in Miami, which has a huge Cuban population. This I'm not a big fan of. Stopping the intersection of sport for Cubans. I get it, but I don't think it's proper to do it. If you want to go along the highway and do it and not slow down traffic and stop traffic, I get it. There's some more. This is in New Jersey, in the Cuban community there. These people know what it's like. Either their family members themselves, their family members, or their grandparents escaped from Cuba. But let me show you the part that really, really, really pisses me off is our response from our current administration. Buck Sexton on Twitter. Cubans fleeing oppression and murder by their own government right now are the definition of legitimate asylum seekers. I agree. Whatever. They all got it. Oh, they're all fleeing economic terrorism. And they're fleeing the Mexico and Guatemala and Honduras and Costa Rica because, you know, it's horrible there and blah, 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 blah. And they're just refugees and we should take them all in. And, well, you know why? Because when most of them become citizens, they'll vote Democrat, whereas Cubans won't because they know what it's like to lose freedom. But Democrats all of a sudden now are anti-asylum because a lot of the Cubans vote Republican. You got it right, Buck. You got it right. Let's see what our head of Homeland Security has to say.
Allow me to be clear. If you take to the sea, you will not come to the United States. The time is never right to attempt migration by sea. To those who risk their lives doing so, this risk is not worth taking. Again, I repeat, do not risk your life attempting to enter the United States illegally. You will not come to the United States.
And there you have it. There's the cowardly response from our administration. When I say our, he's my president too, whether I like it or not. Can you imagine if Trump was still president? The border would be a lot more secure. You can hate his guts all you want to, but he had a right on immigration. That would be President Trump standing there saying, freedom-loving people of Cuba, we are with you. We're 90 miles away. Tell us what we can do to help you. We can't invade, we can't bomb, but we can help you the best we can. We can give you asylum because we know that you're really, really freedom-seeking people. Way different. It's amazing, isn't it? And by the way, all you Biden voters out there, this is what you voted for. Oh, John, I just voted against Trump. I didn't know. Well, you didn't know? You weren't paying attention. A communist regime 90 miles away in the biggest protests in almost 3 decades. And what do we get from this administration? Don't come. Don't come and seek freedom in the United States. Unbelievable. Just another thing from Buck Sexton. Remember when the clownish mediocrity was promising to unite the country a year ago? Now he's saying voter ID and having to vote in a proper county is the biggest threat since the Civil War. This is what you guys voted for. Now he's saying, for God's sake, the Republicans, please, they're trying to undermine our election, our sacred right to vote. Have you no shame? People are ridiculous. Biden voters, that's what you wanted, and that's what you got. So I'll leave it with this. There's a lot more of the article. It's mostly text. Some of the local protests, when I say local, I mean the United States. And it's beautiful there. Look at those beautiful buildings. What a shame. Cuba used to be such a huge tourist attraction. In the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I mean, my God, even in the 20s, after Prohibition started in 1920, people used to go there in the 50s, big, beautiful clubs, and money was just flowing, and the economy was booming. Yeah, it was corrupt. Yeah, it was a dictator. Yeah, but what's happened since then? You can always tell the quality of a country by which way its people go, in or out. And there's not a hell of a lot of people migrating to Cuba. So I'll just, like I said, I'll go through here, and it's amazing stuff. And God bless you people in Cuba. I wish you well. I wish you all the success in the world. And 2, members of the administration that represents my country, i.e. the Biden administration, all I have to say to you guys concerning this, shame on you. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.